it's Taylor here today, and I wanted to walk you through how I created some really cool note cards with our Big Bloom stamps and some watercolors. So my thought was actually inspired by a project that Gayatri made for our recent release. I just loved her beautiful watercolored flowers, and I thought I might want to try a way to do that. I'm not sure exactly how she did hers, but I wanted a really simple way to create lots of cards at one time using a watercolor background. So I've actually already put these together using our daisy and the succulent with different sentiments from our Friendly Phrases stamp set. So those are just embossed on white and put on a black strip over the top of the center of the card. So I also put a few little kind of speckles in the background, and I wanted to walk you through how I made these really quickly by starting with a sheet of our watercolor paper. So our watercolor paper is 118 pound. It is a really nice watercolor paper. It's textured on one side and then smooth on the other side. I did end up using the textured side here to apply watercolors all over the sheet. I used, I think, 4 different colors on this particular piece here. And these are my watercolors that I use. These are the Gansai Tambis. And you can see I got a little bit overzealous with my spritzing of the white because I spritzed it all over my watercolors, but that will be fine. It won't affect the use when I do get to using those colors. It'll just mix in a little bit there. But I have these Gansai Tambis in the Tailored Expressions web store, and they provide really nice, vibrant colors. So after I went ahead and watercolored this entire sheet, I dried it with my embossing gun just to make sure we were ready to do the die cutting. So in order to make this process a little bit quicker, my thought was to take the coordinating Big Blooms die and actually cut the paper first. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'll speed it up for you guys so you don't have to watch me. Okay, so now we have 4 of those die cut pieces, and the die that I use actually belongs to our Big Blooms Rose stamp set, and you can see that image right here. So I used the coordinating die for that and cut out these 4 pieces, and then I saved one of the negative pieces here. And what I'm gonna do next is set that up in the MISTI so it's really easy to stamp and align these with the help of the MISTI. So the first thing I have in the bottom here is just a piece of the grid paper, and I'm gonna ink up my stamp over here. Don't have to get it perfect because this is just going down onto the kind of scrap paper. Go ahead and press that down. And there it is. So this is where my negative piece comes in, and you might have to trim a little more closely around the outside of that in order to fit it into the MISTI here. So then what I'm gonna do is take that and just kind of turn it until I find where it lines up here. There. Now the nice thing about doing it this way is you only have to line it up once, and then you just use your magnet there, and I also have a couple of pieces of tape that I'll use just to hold the other end down, make sure it's right where I want it. So then I'm gonna take my die cut pieces and I'm going to piece those right back into that negative shape. And I'm gonna go ahead and ink it up again here. Close the lid. And then the best part about the MISTI is that you can just do it right over the top again in order to get an even darker impression on that beautiful rose. So I think on some of mine, depending on how it looked, I did it maybe 3 times. And then one tip, since you are stamping over the top of watercolor, it does take a little bit longer to dry. So just be careful when you grab it out of the negative die cut. And I would actually hit it with a heat gun just to make sure that it's completely dry before you do anything else with this beauty here. So there you have it. And you can just go through the rest of the pieces, fit those right back in where they belong, just like putting together a puzzle, and stamp the rest of them. So all of the products that I used on these projects are available at the Tailored Expressions web store. You can find them at tailoredexpressions.com, or when you get there, you can search Big Blooms and everything will come right up for you. So thanks for tuning in today, guys. Have a great day.